And so basically by using Instagram yourself as an end user, as an artist, as a gallerist, as a museum person, because all museums use this channel, you are changing the way we see art. And I think one of the most interesting things, and we were discussing this, is that the recent re-rise of figurative painting is in part attributable to Instagram.
The Instagram conversation is a great way into that for me, because I guess what I would say is that the idea of an art world depends on the idea of an inside, a cultural inside and outside. You know, that there's a place or a way of thinking that people have that reframes things as its own kind of like social world. It has its own kind of values. However, my sense is that it's like we're in one of these moments where like people's there's a word, de-action, I think, which is like where people are holding on to ideas that no longer fit the circumstances. And I think people have this idea of the art world as this closed inside, when actually like it's a porous networked outside, which is to a great extent is due to Instagram. Like, I think people's values, how they are valuing art, how art circulates has changed, and people haven't like realized that. I think I follow gallery directors I like, and then I follow the artists that they follow. And that's what makes value and meaning for me. And I think that conversation, for a lot of people, has replaced the valuation systems that were formed around certain kind of intellectual specialist language that has a certain kind of value. I think that we are living in a new world. And that's one of the things that you might mean by erasing, is that the rules of the game have changed. Without people's minds catching up to it, and they've changed because of the technology, and they've changed according to its rules.
And yet we have this paradox where people want to enter the more, shall we say, established art world because this is where you have recognition, this is where you do, I mean, you talk about people following art.
You have cachet, you know what,
yeah.
like one of the effects of online stuff is it disaggregates everything. It puts everything in competition with itself. And, you know, your artwork is in the feed with, you know, every other.
Yeah, the economy of attention becomes incredibly
and levels everything. It produces a great sense of leveling, which produces a great sense of cultural dislocation for people, which in turn means that, you know, there's a huge hunger for status. Anything that feels like they give me something, it's some community to hold on to that's a little bit more specific than everybody. You can look at the NFT moment, that moment, as being a moment when you see what a kind of art world looks like that I think we are moving towards, that's post institutions of criticism and post, you know, physical institutions. There's a certain sense in which like discourse generates value.